Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good morning. Good afternoon and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys all finding this show in good spirits. Hope you guys are doing well, because another day above the dirt is always a blessing. Let's not forget that, okay? Man, I've missed you the past couple days, guys. It's been a kind of a crazy couple of days. I'm just going to be completely honest. Timing, my schedule has just been all over the place and everything. But here's the thing. There is something about this trial that I felt like, okay, I may miss out on the first 3 days, but this one I did not want to miss. Okay, so I am here. We're here early. It's a very early morning. So shout out to my mods that are here very early in the morning. I appreciate you guys. Really, I really do. Okay, but this trial has been a very interesting one. I've been keeping watch on it. I really care about it. We talked about this case a few years ago, and now we're getting to that place. Okay, so we're finally getting that place where we're going to get to justice for Anna Walshe. And this dude did this. Okay, he did this. I don't care what anybody else says. He did this. And we already seen it plain as day. We've already talked about B-Rye. Okay? Bry. We already talked about this dude. All right? But we're going to do a little tiny trip down memory lane before we get into this conversation. But before we get into everything, please do me a favor. Simple ask. It's a very simple ask. Okay? Hit that like button down below. Crush it, do what it do. Hit that reaction button down below as well. That'd be greatly appreciated. Okay. Also, hit that subscribe button. Hit that follow button as well. If you're watching on these other platforms like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, Twitch, Kick, please make sure you are hitting that follow button. Follow. Subscribe here on my main channel right here on YouTube. Okay. Go to my second channel, The Pascal Show, Clips and Pascal Raw. Be ever so kind and crush that subscribe button over there as well. Hit that notification bell, set it to all so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, because it is random. All right. Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon. And of course, check out pascalmerch.com. Yes, pascalmerch.com. We got some really great stuff over there. Go check it out. pascalmerch.com. All right. Okay, guys, we got to get into this conversation. Okay. And this is a very interesting case. Okay. This is a pretty wild case. And there's a lot of things that I want to talk to you guys about. And yes, we're going to get into the trial and get into it very, very shortly. We are going to play a little bit behind and then catch up to where we are right now. Okay. Because it is live. Okay, they just started everything, and there's going to be a testimony done by Anna Walshe's lover, guys. Yeah, Anna Walshe's lover will be testifying today. And this is a very, very big deal, because to me, this gives me, and I'm sure the jury and prosecutors, a reason to think and believe that there's motive behind why Anna Walshe lost her life. Let me just remind you guys of this whole thing, okay? Because when Anna Walshe actually, hold on. My mouse is tripping as usual. Let me just pull this whole thing up here so we can see this here. Yeah. My mouse be tripping. Okay. Because he just looks wild. He just looks wild in that. Like that hairstyle. Like what is this? What is this Lord Farquaad-esque mushroom hairstyle. Nah, bro. Nah, it ain't giving. It's not giving. But anyway, I digress. All right. Now, of course, just a quick trip down memory lane, okay? Because honestly, for all of us that are here, pretty much know the case or what happened. But I haven't talked about this case in a very long time. This is the first day that I'm actually covering or watching this trial, and it's because of the Lavelle. Real talk. It's because the lover, like the main hits that I'm going to you're going to see me go live on is stuff like this one where the lover is taking the stand. Okay. So Anna Walshe did have a lover. That is guaranteed. So the question we had back in the day, a long time ago, when we first talked about this case was, did she have a lover? I mean, if I was married to a man like this guy, I wouldn't be surprised. She's out there, walking out on him. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised. All right. But nonetheless, she has a lover. But then also, he's allegedly going to be taking the stand as well. Bri, piece of trash right here. Okay. Con artist, fraudster, and in my personal opinion, murderer. Okay. That's without question. All right. But nonetheless, all right, when Anna Walshe actually vanished on New Year's Day around, I think it was like 2023, okay? This story definitely just first sounded like a simple missing persons case, but then it turned into something else, all right? It clearly and quickly turned into something else because a guy like this guy, he's very dumb. And thank God he's very dumb. His Google searches, even his corn searches, okay, very disturbing, very disgusting. But nonetheless, it shows a pattern that this guy most definitely took the life of his wife. And let's not forget, this guy is already a criminal to begin with. And they were already having marital issues, okay, as far as finances, as far as the criminal charges that he was facing, okay, and all that other stuff as well. All right. But just really quick, okay. When she was reported missing, before she was reported missing, she had just celebrated New Year's Eve at home, okay, in Cohasset, Massachusetts with her husband, this guy, Bri, and a friend. Now, according to Brian, she left before the sun came up for a work emergency in Washington, D.C. Now, let me just remind you guys, she was in real estate. So what? Like, oh, good God, there's an emergency. We don't know how to sell this house or sell this building. Like, I don't get it. Okay. But he literally came out of his whole butthole, all right, with this full-on lie saying that she had to leave before the sun came up to Washington, D.C., because something in real estate caused her to run out in an emergency, okay? But then almost immediately, pieces of that story definitely began to fall apart. Anna never arrived to work, okay? She never boarded a flight. We even saw records of that, okay? We all were looking into that, like, did she ever get on the flight? What happened to her? Where is Anna, right? That was the whole thing for like 2 seconds until they realized that, him lying, okay? Even when her employer ended up reporting her missing a few days later, around like January 4th, police showed up to the Walshe home and found Brian, okay, Bri, lying even more because his timeline was definitely not adding up. So in the days that followed, investigators started to do their due diligence. Surveillance cameras picked up Brian. This is how dumb he is, okay? They picked up Brian buying hundreds of dollars worth of cleaning supplies, like hazmat suits, bleach, etc., okay? And he tried to be slick with it too, remember? He tried to be slick with it too. He tried to buy in only cash and walk around with one of those masks, face masks, trying to cover up what he was doing. But he's dumb. Remember, this is a very dumb criminal. He was selling fake paintings. You got to be a special level of dumb to try to do that kind of crap. Okay? Remember this. And you got to be a special kind of dumb to have that kind of haircut. Is that prison haircut? Like, they didn't do him no help. Like, it you know what I mean? It makes his head look even more. Why does his head look like a lawn dart? Like, what's going on here? Like the upside down of like an anchor, you know what I mean? But upside, what's going on with his face? It's never mind. I digress. We're going to continue on. Okay. So they saw him buying hundreds of dollars worth of cleaning supplies, hazmat suits, gloves, bleach, etc. Okay. Items prosecutors now say were used to cover up him unaliving Anna Walshe. We're going to get to that here in a second, what he says now, okay? But detectives noticed that the errands he claimed to run, okay, simply did not happen. So he went out to do some other things, but that's what he claims, but he actually went out to do a whole bunch of other things. Not only just to get these items, but also dump her remains, right? So search teams canvassed the woods, okay? Dumpsters and surrounding neighborhoods. Within days, police found blood and a damaged knife in the basement. So then a few days later, on January 8th, Brian was arrested finally, but not for muerte, okay? Not for his hand in the demise of Anna Walshe, but for misleading investigators, okay? But this was only the beginning of everything. So as detectives traced trash routes and reviewed surveillance footage, the case transformed from a missing person search into a homicide investigation. Prosecutors accused Brian of taking the life of Anna in their home, dismantling her body, and then tossing her remains in dumpsters that had already been taken to a processing facility. So items pulled from these waste, from these actual like dumpsters, okay? They found a whole bunch of items, okay? All right. So hacksaws, a hatchet, a hazmat suit, like I said before, gloves, and rugs, okay? And apparently all of this stuff had her DNA all over it. In other words, her blood, okay? Prosecutors also revealed a disturbing trail, I'm sorry, of Google searches, like we talked about before. Google searches made in the hours after she was last seen. Searches asking how long a body takes to smell, how to dismantle, okay, we got to use these code words, how to dismantle a body, okay, and whether you could be charged with taking the life of somebody, okay, for unaliving somebody without a body. After all of this, Anna herself was never found, okay? Now, he eventually got charged with M, and that's exactly what he's in the middle of trial right now as we speak. But what's also very interesting about this, okay, is that he pleaded guilty for misleading police. That's the only thing that he pled guilty to. He is fighting for his life now for the unaliving of Anna Walshe. And what he is saying is that he found her that way. He found her unalive and then freaked out and tried to do something to cover up her unaliving, which makes no earthly sense whatsoever. You understand that, right? Okay. So the fact that he's sitting there going, oh yeah, well, I did that. I misled y'all, but I didn't do all of that. I walked in the room and I just found her that way. What? Like I said, he is literally fighting a losing battle. Okay. Fighting a losing battle. He is saying that, yes, he misled. He admitted taking like I said, he pled guilty, all right, to admitting that he misled police and improperly disposed her remains, all right? But he still is saying that he did not take his wife's life. Make that make sense. Again, what, like you say, oh, yeah, the whole time, oh, I don't know where my wife went. I do not know where she is, right? They do all of their due diligence and figure out, nah, bro, the last place she was seen was here. The last person to see her alive was yo ass. And there's a whole lot of red that we're finding in various areas that happen to be Anna's blood. Oh, well, yeah. Okay. Since we in trial now. All right. So yeah, I did mislead Popo, and yeah, I did dismantle her body and then discarded it somewhere where you guys don't know where she is still. But I did not unalive her. No, I did not do that. Make that make sense, guys. It's a level of stupid I've never seen before. Okay. Of the likes I've never seen before. It is dumb. Like I said, these are stupid criminals. Thank God for stupid criminals, because it makes it so much easier to get closer or get to a swift justice, right? But what's really still messed up about this situation is we still do not know where Anna is. At least so far. Unless we find out something else here soon as well. Okay? Now, here's the thing. Rich Buddy just said Anna defrauded people for millions along with her husband and her lover. Why should we feel compassion for her? Be objective. Now, here's the thing. At the end of the day, if she screwed over people, it still does not make sense that he would look up those specific Google searches. It still doesn't make any sense that he dismantled her body and then hid her remains in various areas or in one area, okay? While he was on his way to go see his mama, okay? While he was on his way en route to see his mama, remember that? He discarded her remains. So here's the thing. Sure, you can have care, you can care about that. You can think that he didn't do this, right? It's fine. Shoot, there are a lot of people out here that, still believe that Brian Koberger didn't do a damn thing. But here's the thing. You go into your home and you find your wife or your husband, your partner gone. What's the first thing you're going to do? Well, knee-jerk reaction is you pull the phone out and you're calling 911 as soon as possible. His reaction was, oh, damn, I got to go get a hazmat suit and a hacksaw and a whole bunch of bleach. But how am I going to do that? Maybe I'll watch some episodes of The Sopranos and Google everything really quick on how can I get rid of human remains, especially my wife. I'm just saying. This one right here, doesn't matter if she screwed this guy over, like screwed people over. Doesn't matter if they were both fraudsters. Okay? Doesn't matter. This one smells. This one stinks. Okay? And this one, to me, says this guy did all of this. He could have easily called 911. That's all he needed to do. If he had found her gone. Period. If he had found her gone, call 911. That's all you need to do. All right? That's it. But he didn't do that. Knee-jerk reaction is that is what you do. You don't just go chop up your wife and then scatter her remains God knows where. Then lie police, then do all these Google searches. Can you get charged with murder if there's no body? Why would you Google something like that if you didn't unalive that person? If you didn't take her life and you're innocent, you're calling 911, period. If there was something sinister going on where she did screw people over, steal millions of dollars from people, then he should have called 911. Just saying. Just saying. Why go and do all this extra stuff? It just doesn't make any sense. All that extra crap. All that extra crap. You're calling, you're Googling things, you're driving out of your way to a whole other Home Depot out of your way, not even in your area. Because you know for a fact he got that Home Depot that he just goes to that's 15 minutes away, but he went an extra 15 more minutes somewhere else to go to a whole other county, to go to another completely different Home Depot because he didn't want them to cover. He was trying to cover his tracks. He didn't want them to trace him. He wore a mask and he paid in cash to buy all this stuff. Just to start with that. Start with that first. Okay? There's no way on God's green earth that he just that he didn't do this. And he thinks that he's going to get away with it right here. So again, here's the other piece too. We got to talk about this because this is very important leading into the testimony that we're going to be hearing here in a second. Again, the lover is taking the stand. We're going to be listening to that here in just a little bit. This obviously shows some semblance of a motive. You got to understand. At first, we're wondering why would she lose her life at the hands of her husband? And we all start wondering that thing. Could it be that it's a marital issue, which it clearly is? Was there another person? Was it finances? Was it something else? Now we find out. She did indeed have a lover. And that lover's taking the stand. And what we also have heard and learned is that Brian Walshe actually hired an investigator to follow the lover. Just to make sure that she and the lover were actually bumping uglies. Yeah, guys. We're going to be hearing that and more in this testimony. This is, like I said, this is an open and shut case. He should have done the right thing and just pled guilty to all the charges. But hey, a con man gonna con. Okay? A con man gonna con. So let's get into this. Let's take a listen to all this. Because, of course, they're going to be getting into the trial here in just a little bit. But I just want to play a little bit of this here real quick.
And this ruling relates to both the my thought process with regard to the William Fastow text messages, to the extent that they reveal some state of mind evidence of Anna Walshe. And also, just so that I'm clear, these thoughts equally apply to the reason why on an earlier motion in limine with regard to the expected testimony of Alyssa Kirby, why I believe these state of mind statements are coming in. So just bear with me while I read this into the record. And this is my oral order on the motion to admit the text messages between Anna Walshe and William Fastow. And again, same reasoning for what I expect at some point will become a similar issue with regard to a conversation Anna Walshe had with Alyssa Kirby, I think on the evening of 10/12/29/22. The Commonwealth filed a motion in limine to enter text messages between William Fastow and Anna Walshe as evidence of Anna's state of mind. Quote, an exception to the hearsay rule permits the admission of evidence of a murder victim's state of mind as proof of the defendant's motive to kill the victim, end quote. Commonwealth versus Castano, 478 Mass 75 at 85, 2017. Such evidence is admissible, quote, when and only when there also is evidence that the defendant was aware of that state of mind at the time of the crime and would be likely to respond to it. Period, end of quote. Commonwealth versus Qualls, 425 Mass 163, 167, 1997. There need not be direct evidence that the defendant learned of the victim's state of mind, so long as the jury reasonably could have inferred that he did learn of it. Citing again to Castano, 478 Mass at 85. In this case, there is evidence from which the jury reasonably could infer that the defendant saw the text messages exchanged between William Fastow and Anna Walshe. Specifically, during his interviews with the police on January 4th, 2023, Brian Walshe told detectives that sometimes Anna's iMessenger comes up on his phone and that he had seen messages people were leaving for Anna. That is at the 1/4/23 interview transcript at page 30. During his January 7th, 2023 interview, Brian Walshe told police that Anna took a bunch of photos on New Year's Eve and that she sent one to William Fastow around 10 o'clock. That can be found in the interview of 1/7/23 transcript at 86. And during his January 8th, 2023 interview, Brian Walshe told the detectives that they could get the exact time that his son went to bed on New Year's Eve based on the time Anna texted Fastow the photo. That may be found on the 1/3/23 interview transcript at page 7.
One thing really quick, I just want to point out, I'm sorry, trust me, we're going to catch up here fast. But one thing I think is very interesting, because I called it back in the day too. I said, what if it was New Year's Eve? Okay. New Year's Eve, it's, Happy New Year, time for new changes, time for life to be better, blah, blah, blah. Time to, say goodbye to the crappy year that we had and say hello to 2025, right? Or actually at that time, 2023, right? And what happened? I think, and this was my theory then too, I think she said, I want out. I want a divorce. And then he lost his mind. That's what I literally think. I think he confronted her being like, I know you're bumping uglies with this Fastow guy, however you pronounce his last name, right? I know you bumping uglies. I caught you. And she's like, well, I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm done with this. And then he lost his mind. He lost his marbles and did the unthinkable thing. And then boom. You see what I'm saying? That's what I truly think. I still think that. Okay. It's without question that this guy did this. And it could have been blind rage. Maybe he blacked out, came to, and she was gone. He found her gone. That's possible too. But on some real stuff, though, New Year's Eve, usually that's the time when everybody wants to make changes, right? I'm going to get slim thick. I'm going to get that 6-pack, right? I'm going to stop smoking, right? So anything's possible. Hold on real quick. So Pascal, you think Brian pulled a, if I can't have you, nobody will, you're not leaving me. I really do think that. Yeah, Miss Anita. I really do think that. I think it was a whole thing of like, you're mine, And she's like, I want out. Yeah, that I'm in a relationship. Yeah, you know that I'm talking to this other person, right? You here under house arrest and you can't do X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? So again, I think that it has a part of it, right? I think the cheating is a factor. And it maybe gave him more incentive to take her out. Also, it could have been an insurance thing too. Okay. She had an insurance policy as well. Millions of dollars in that as well. So maybe it was a combination. Like, well, you know, she's out here bumping uglies with somebody else doing the hibbity dibbity with somebody else. Might as well take her money. I'm already screwed. I can't really make any money being, you know, under house arrest, and, you know, or, you know, because I lost my job. I'm looked out here as a fraud, etc. You see what I'm saying? So I think it's a combination of different things all in one. And I think that's what the prosecution is trying to put together as well. But let me let her cook. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. I know some people are like, I can't believe you speed up the videos. How dare you? Well, I'm trying to get to the meat and potatoes. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to get to the point. And also we're trying to catch up. If this might be too fast, I'll slow it down here in a second if I have to.
From such evidence, which accurately noted the time Anna sent the photo to William Fasto, it is reasonable to infer that the defendant had seen her text message exchange.
There we go.
Contrary to the defendant's contention, the text messages at issue contain some evidence of Anna's state of mind at the time of the crime. In particular, she sends messages regarding her feelings of confusion in her married life, her intimate relationship with Fasto, and her desire to make future plans with Fasto. While there was some discussion of redacting portions of the messages that are not relevant to the state of mind evidence, and I will reserve ruling on those as I now know the parties' positions has changed. I will reserve ruling on those. I continue to believe that there are certain messages that are not relevant to Anna's state of mind. And if the defendant objects during the proceeding of Mr. Fasto's testimony to those, I will rule on those real time, as we do in many cases.
Okay.
So that's that.
So that is that. So let's continue. Here comes Bri.
All right, anything, the jury's ready to go, is that right? And is there anything that the parties need to raise with the court?
Your Honor, if I could have 1 minute, we have done some redactions of the Fasto messages that I think would take out some of the concerns that you had. We're having a printer issue this morning, so we couldn't make a color copy of it. But if I could
of
just get a black and white
course.
copy for the defense and for you, I think that might help the situation.
All right, as I said, I'm happy to rule on it real time.
I'll just have.
And I don't know how you're parsing through those messages and how you can present them as I rule on it. So maybe are you saying it's going to be difficult for you to do that job if I'm ruling on them real time?
I think so. So I think it might be a little bit simpler if we could look at the redactions ahead of time, and I could just have that made. I'll have the copies made right now. I can start with Mr. Fasto, and then we can have those brought up. And when we're ready to do that, we could go sidebar.
All right, it's my interest in getting the jury out here and getting the day's
And I'm
work.
ready to start.
All right. Anything from,
May Ms. Cusick be excused so she can take them right down.
sure.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And anything from the defense before we bring the jury in? Defense, is there anything that you wish to bring to the court's attention before the jury comes in? Bring him in.
Trash man. Literally, he's a trash man. That's so jacked up, but yeah, he's a trash man with his mushroom cloud haircut.
And were you able to avoid talking to anyone about this case?
So he is in here.
And you all still have open minds?
Jury.
All answered and they.
And I have it sped up. I'm going to slow it down when he gets to the stand, but here he is. Shout out to Court TV, by the way. Shout out to Court TV. Shout out to Court TV. Yes, that is the Lavelle.
You may proceed.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good
Hold
morning.
Good morning.
Could you please state your name and spell your last name for the record?
Yes, my name is William Fasto, F-A-S-T.
The Lavelle.
Thank you. And what do you do for a living, sir?
I'm a real estate broker
And where do you do that?
in Washington, D.C.
And is that where you live as well?
It is
And how long have you been a real estate broker?
just about 20 years.
Always in the DC area?
No, actually up here in Boston for a few years, and then a hiatus, and then back in DC.
And
Naughty
were you
boy.
familiar with Anna Walsh and Brian Walsh?
Yes.
And how did you meet the Walshes?
Anna Walsh was referred to me by a mutual friend, Jem Mutlow. They were looking for a home in the DC area, and I assisted them in purchasing a townhome in Chevy Chase, DC.
And did you know Anna or Brian Walsh before that?
I did not.
And where was that property located generally?
It was on 43rd Street in Northwest DC.
And you said it was a townhome?
That's correct.
Can you just describe that townhome?
So it was a semi-attached townhome. One side of it faced on 43rd Street. It had a staircase that led up to a parlor level. It was 4 floors and had a 2-car garage underneath.
And who bought the home?
Anna Walsh.
And was the deed in her name?
I believe so.
And when did Anna close on that property?
March of 2022.
And did you meet Anna in person?
Yes.
And when did you first meet Anna in person?
I think a couple months before that, she had come up to Washington once or twice to look at properties.
And did Brian Walsh come with her?
He did not.
Had you ever met Brian Walsh in person?
No, I have not.
Did you ever speak with Brian Walsh?
Yes, we had at least one, if not a few, teleconference calls to discuss the property.
So after you sold the townhome to Anna Walsh, did you have further contact with her?
I did.
And when was your initial contact with her after you sold her the home?
Immediately.
And what was your initial relationship?
We quickly became close friends,
Mm-hmm.
then confidants, and before long, we started an intimate relationship.
Bumping uglies.
And
Hibbity
what do you mean by
dibbity.
confidants?
We would share conversations about our lives, what we were going through, personal troubles, those sorts of things.
So an emotional affair first. Okay. An emotional
And
affair. Mm-hmm.
you said that your relationship became more, that
Yes.
it became intimate.
It did.
And when did that happen?
Shortly after she moved to Massachusetts, within a few weeks.
Massachusetts?
Sorry, excuse me, Washington, D.C. From Massachusetts to Washington, D.C.
And what was your marital status at that time?
I was separated.
And do you have children, sir?
I do.
Tell me about the types of things that you and Anna did in the course of your relationship.
We would go out to dinner,
Make
go to
videotape.
bars. She would accompany me to functions. I have a boat in Annapolis. She would come sailing with me.
Oh, wow.
We did a couple of fitness dates together, see movies, those sorts of things.
Fitness dates, that's what you call it?
You said movies?
Yes.
And you
Maybe
said
all-
fitness dates. What do you mean by fitness dates?
Anna was very active physically. Being in shape was very important to her.
Mhm.
I hosted a outdoor yoga event, and she had attended on multiple occasions.
I'll stop.
When you say Anna was very active, what do you mean by that?
She was very focused on staying in shape, sort of recovering from her multiple pregnancies, getting her figure back. She was really, trying to dial everything in and be as active as possible.
Did she exercise?
She did.
I bet
Did you see her exercise?
Yes.
What kind of exercise did she do?
She had a home gym that she worked out in. I believe there was a treadmill and some weights and a small weight bench there. And then the yoga classes we discussed. I also think she may have taken a couple Pilates or other yoga classes on her own.
You know all about this.
So how often would you see Anna Walsh in the course of your relationship?
Typically 2 to 3 times a week.
And would you see each other on the weekends?
Yes, when she was in Washington.
And how often would you and Anna communicate once your relationship became intimate?
Pretty much daily.
And how would you and Anna communicate with each other?
Phone calls, text messages, and a private messenger through Instagram.
Yeah, they were creeping. Yeah.
Did she use a cell phone?
Yes.
Creeping on the down low.
And how many cell phones did you contact her on?
One.
No burners.
Did you
Okay.
know her to use more than one cell phone?
I did not.
How about you? How many cell phones did you use?
Just one.
And the cell
Yeah.
phone number that you used to communicate with Anna, do you remember that number?
Not off the top of my head, but I know it was a 617 number.
If I said the number to you, would you recognize the number?
Yes.
Do you recognize 617-599-7966?
Yes, I believe that's correct.
Y'all don't cheat.
Did Anna use social media?
She did.
Not cute.
How do you know that she used social media?
She was a frequent Instagram poster.
And when you say frequent, what was her practice or custom with social media?
Typically, I'd say at least once or twice a week.
Any other platforms that she used?
I think she had a Facebook account.
And did you comment on her posts?
I did.
And did you comment on her post using your name,
Yes, I did.
your full name?
Whatever, yes, that my account's under.
Dang.
So the townhouse that you sold Anna, is that where she lived?
It is.
And did you go inside of that townhouse after she moved into it?
I had.
And did you ever stay overnight at that townhouse?
Hell
I
yeah.
did
you-
not.
Oh,
Did she ever stay at your home in DC overnight?
She did.
oh yeah.
So talking about
Good
her
douche.
townhouse, you said it was 4 floors?
Yes.
And that starting like the garage level?
The garage was at street level, and then there was an elevated parlor, and then 2 bedroom levels above that.
And that parlor level is where the kitchen would have been?
Correct.
And what had she done about, was the home furnished?
Yes.
And how was
He
the,
had furnished it.
okay, and how was the home furnished?
She had settled in very quickly. It was important to her to nest as quickly as possible. So she had fully furnished it. She had built out the home gym, which I had mentioned earlier, furniture on the main level, the owner's bedroom, and 3 bedrooms upstairs that were for the children.
And what had she done to furnish the bedrooms for the children?
She had acquired beds, accessory furniture. I think she had the rooms painted. She may have even gone as far as buying some individual items, clothes, toys, whatnot.
Did you ever meet Anna's 3 children?
I did not.
What did Anna tell you about where her children were?
He was the side
Her
dude.
children were living in Massachusetts.
What did Anna tell you about why her children were not with her?
She told me that her children were with their father, Brian Walshe, up in Massachusetts, and that they were there because his home confinement was predicated on him being the primary caregiver.
When did Anna tell you that?
Fairly early on. She had attempted to apply for a insurance policy, blanket coverage policy for her house, and the company she had reached out to was unwilling to underwrite the policy, and they had disclosed to her that it was because of Brian's history.
She gonna
What
cry?
did Anna
She
tell
gonna
you
cry?
about how she felt about her children not being with her in DC?
Initially, she felt that it was something necessary for her to get through, but as time came on, it became a significant issue for her. It deeply upset her, and in time, she was even despondent about it.
Jurors, I'm going to give you a mid-stream brief instruction. You're going to hear through this witness evidence of Anna Walsh's state of mind. And it is limited to the purpose of establishing her state of mind as may be relevant to the defendant's motives in this case. Evidence cannot be considered as proof of the criminal act that is charged in this case. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. What do you mean despondent?
She was deeply upset about it. She was troubled. I think she was concerned about her role.
As to, I think.
All right. Restate the question and I'll have the answer.
What do you mean despondent?
Anna felt deeply disappointed that she wasn't in a position to be the mother the children deserved.
Did she tell you she discussed the children not being with her, with Brian?
Yes.
What did she tell you?
It was a point of contention for them. Brian's attorney had.
May we approach sidebar?
Yes, you may.
Man. And of course, they're going to do everything they can to like. This is a losing battle, but here it is. I have a feeling he's going to cry or something. There's a vibe I'm getting from him. He's struggling. He's really struggling. And I get it. He obviously was in love with her, in love with Anna. But I'm going to say this really quick, while they're doing this sidebar. All right. First off, don't cheat. Ew. That's what I'm trying to do. That guy. Yeah, do that slow pushing. I'm going to hit that again. Yeah, you're losing this one, buddy. Yeah, you're going to be locked away for a long time. Doesn't matter. Don't cheat, everybody. Let me just say that, okay? Do not cheat. If you're not happy with somebody and you're having marital issues and it's at the place where it's at the point of no return, divorce them. I'm sorry, I'm not a huge advocate of divorce, but at the same time, let's be real. Let's be real. Wouldn't you rather just be free so then you could do what you want any old time, right? Than to sneak around, okay, doing that funky dope loving with somebody else? I'm just being real. Behind the person that you said I do to? In sickness and in health, till death do us part. All I'm saying is get the divorce. Just do it. If you're instantly thinking in your mind, okay, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to cheat, right? I'm going to stick my hand in somebody else's cookie jar, all right? While I have my hand in another cookie jar that I've been legally and spiritually and religiously, whatever you want to call it, bound by this person. Let's be real. Okay? Pack up your things, turn to that person, say, I hired a divorce lawyer, I want out. That's it. And it sounds like to me that this relationship that she had with William, okay, was going on for a long time. So much that it sounds like to me, they didn't get into details, but it sounds like he had been bumping uglies in their own marital home as well. And then anytime she would go to Washington, D.C., she's out there with him, with Will. Real talk. Bad. So again, motive, okay? Motive, period. Prosecution, the jury is going to see this. They're listening to this. They're hearing all the evidence already. They already know that this guy's a dumb criminal. He was already being on lockdown because of criminal activities in the past, which obviously caused marital issues between him and Anna. So she went off. She walked out on her marriage. He knew about this. He allegedly hired a private investigator, like we talked about earlier in the show, hired an investigator to follow William to find out that they were indeed bumping uglies. So again, let me just say this again. Y'all, don't cheat. Don't be dumb. Don't cheat. But you see, he said, we were confidants. We became, we became acquainted with each other. Then we became confidants. Then we started getting together, if you get what I'm saying. Emotional cheating, emotional affairs actually do happen, and they exist. Okay? And usually that's the first step towards what they started doing biblically in the bedroom. All right? Real talk. So again, don't cheat. Indeed. Insane. But he loved her. You could tell. This Will guy. He loved her. Side piece Will. Definitely loved her. Crazy.
Did you keep your relationship with Anna secret?
I did not know.
Did you tell people about your relationship with Anna?
Yes,
Wow.
Did you socialize together with any of Anna's friends?
we did not.
Did you socialize with any of your friends?
We did.
Did Anna ever discuss with you telling Brian Walshe about her relationship with you?
Yes. Anna felt it was really important that when Brian was to find out about the relationship, that she would hear it from her. She had expressed great concern, and I think she felt it would be a strike against her integrity if he found out a different way.
So
Yeah, he is, Nicole.
at
He's
some
definitely
point,
broken up.
did your relationship become more serious?
It did.
When would you say that your relationship became more serious?
In the early to mid-summer, around July.
And how would you describe it?
Anna had traveled to Massachusetts for Brian's sentencing. And the expectation was that she was going to be able to bring the children and him back to Washington, D.C. following a favorable sentencing for his art fraud issues. And that sentencing was delayed because of investigations of
Objection, Your Honor.
Yes, sustained.
At that point, were you seeing other people?
Prior to that, yes,
And at that point, did you stop seeing other people?
I did.
And did you begin spending holidays together?
Yes,
And did you spend Thanksgiving together of 2022?
we did.
Wow.
And what plans did you and Anna have for Thanksgiving of 2022?
We had planned a trip to Dublin, Ireland together.
Wow.
And when did you get to Dublin?
I believe we left on the 23rd or 24th of November.
Oh, my damn. Oh,
Did you
my
fly
God.
together to Dublin?
We did
Now.
And how long were you in Dublin?
until the 27th.
And then where did Anna go after Dublin?
She flew to Serbia to see her mother via Paris.
I'm sorry, via Paris, you said?
Yes.
Okay. And where did you go after Dublin?
I returned to Washington.
And did you and Anna have plans for Christmas Eve?
Yes,
And
Damn.
what did you do for Christmas Eve?
we drove out to Annapolis to have dinner with friends of mine.
And where did you have dinner?
The Annapolis Yacht Club.
Wow, man.
And where did you and Anna go after dinner in Annapolis?
We went back to my home in Washington.
Yeah.
And
To have a holly jolly Christmas.
and did you spend the night there together?
We did.
And what did you do on Christmas morning?
It had snowed the night before, so Anna's flight had been delayed or canceled. She left because I was taking custody of my children either later that day or the next day, in anticipation of taking a winter vacation with them.
Wow.
And do you do you know where Anna went on Christmas Day?
She eventually ended up driving back to Massachusetts.
And I'm sorry?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, sorry. So she went to Massachusetts to Cohasset?
Yes, I believe so.
And did you and Anna discuss how Brian Walsh reacted to Anna not being in Cohasset on Christmas Eve and getting there later on Christmas Day?
She told me that they had had an argument about it, and there were some points of contention.
Did you and Anna discuss any stressors about that, or any stressors in her marriage to Brian?
The biggest stressor was his inability to resolve his criminal case, and the fact that because of that, she couldn't be with her children and bring them back to Washington, D.C., and the fact that it felt like it was holding up her life.
Was there any discussion about credit cards?
Yes.
And what was that?
Anna was the primary breadwinner with her job in Washington. And one evening, she was looking through her credit card statement and had found numerous charges that Brian had made. And they had had a conversation about it that was heated. It was about some sports memorabilia that he had purchased for some sort of sports memorabilia business.
Oh, good God. Why?
When was the last time, I'm sorry, were you and Anna making plans to go on any other trips in 2023?
Yes. I was in Idaho with my children for New Year's, was flying back to Washington, D.C., and we had planned to celebrate New Year's together on the 4th.
And were you going to go to any other locations together, any vacation locations?
While we were communicating over New Year's, we had talked about doing a trip to New York City. Tishman Speyer, the company that Anna works for, has an ownership interest in Rockefeller Center. So she had mentioned wanting to go to New York, and we had discussed it. I think we may have even planned it at one point. But I was concerned coming back from Idaho that I would need to be back on the job, and I didn't want to commit to travel before coming back to the office.
So you said you went to Idaho. When was that?
I left early morning, December 27th.
And did you communicate with Anna while you were in Idaho?
I did.
And how did you communicate?
Through text message and through Instagram.
And how did you communicate through Instagram?
Through the private messenger feature.
And what is the private messenger feature?
Within the application of Instagram, you can send a private message to users.
And did you voluntarily provide text messages from between you and Anna to the Commonwealth?
Yes, I did.
Your Honor, may we be seen at sidebar?
You may.
Okay, first off, have mercy. I got to hit the button. So they went to Ireland on Thanksgiving, during Thanksgiving together. They traveled internationally together to Ireland together, which is wild. Then, of course, there was talks of them meeting up again around New Year's Eve, but he was declining to do it because of, travel issues and, work issues and all that, right? But they were cheating on a whole other level. Now, here's the other thing too, because Brian is confined basically to Massachusetts, or basically to like Cohasset area, right? Because of his sentencing and everything. Yeah, it kind of stops him from being able to go anywhere, right? So that stops her from being able to have a life in the city that she wants to live in. So I could see the frustration and the anger on all that as well. Then obviously they had financial issues. Okay. He was just getting, doing his time for the crimes that he committed before all this stuff. Right. Like it's just insane. This whole thing is insane. She was hoping that they would all be able to go down to DC and live their life in DC. But while he was locked up, it sounds like to me, while he was locked up and going through this trial, she had already begun this relationship, this outside relationship with side piece Will. That's what's going on here. So while he was in there in court again, in the past, leading up to his sentencing, she was already in a relationship with another man. So this relationship has gone on for a while. And then, of course, she was like, well, I'm hoping I'll be able to bring him and the kids to DC because I got this really good job. Okay, the job is a good job. And hopefully I'll be able to move over here with the kids and him, and he'll be able to serve his time out here too. But he couldn't. He wasn't allowed to. So that caused even more of a rift between her and Brian. But in the meantime, she was still already cultivating a new relationship with another man. Just so you know, this is messy as hell. And then, of course, he's using her credit card to buy like sport memorabilia. What the hell is? What's up with guys and their sport memorabilia crap? No disrespect. I get we all have our things that we like, but real talk, when you are locked up or you're on lockdown, okay, house arrest basically, for the things that you did before what you did to Anna, the last thing you should be doing is grabbing her credit card and buying sport memorabilia. What? Like, I don't know. That's just me. I just think it's kind of ridiculous. All right. Ooh, I just bought a baseball. It's got this person's name on it. It cost me $500 to get it. Woo, I feel fulfilled now. Now I'm going to put it up over there on the shelf, and it's just going to collect dust. I feel good now. I feel whole. That just makes no sense to me. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. Now, he could have been flipping memorabilia. You know what I mean? He could have been doing all that stuff, Is eBay still a thing? But he could have been doing that. That's possible. But still,
Can use the facilities, grab some water.
her credit card,
All rise for the court, please.
they're going into a
Close your
break.
notebooks. Follow me.
Grab your notebooks. Follow me. All right. Hold on. Let's just see if they're going to say, they might say something when the jury leaves. This is messy, though. This is hella messy, though. He did that, though. Like I said, there is so much evidence against him.
take a look at the proposed redactions and
Okay.
when you're ready for me to come back out on the bench to address those, I'm happy to.
Stay, Your Honor.
Hold on. Yeah. So there's so much pitted against him. There's no way he's going to walk out of this where they're like, maybe he didn't do it. No, he did this. We're seeing the motive. And this relationship was going on for a long time. So much to the point where he's like, okay, Brian was like, okay, I need to see what's really going on. And yeah, Nicole, his Google search history alone says enough. Okay. Now, it's not like he's a true crime podcaster that Googles those kind of things at random because they're, they cover certain things. No, this is a regular ass dude that lives his life. And then suddenly out of nowhere, he's like, yeah, so how long does it, can you get hit with an M charge for unaliving somebody, but they can't find the body? You see what I'm saying? You don't look those things. How to dismantle the body? Like normal, regular people who are out here buying sport memorabilia are not Googling that kind of stuff. Real talk, unless you're like a true crime fiend. But even if he was a true crime fiend and he had that on the search history, he did this, y'all. He mother loving did this. Let's continue on.
Did we reach agreement on the text messages?
We did not. We were hoping for a ruling from you.
All right. What page?
So, Your Honor, it's difficult because they numbered the pages, but they took out whole pages and sections, so they don't correspond.
Oh, boy. Hold on.
I have visually done it. That might be easier to approach so I can show you side by side.
All right. Approach.
Okay, they cut the sound. This is why I like starting a little bit later. Was that her mom? That's got to be her mom. That's Anna Walsh's mom. It's got to be. Maybe? Maybe it's Anna Walsh's mom? Oh, it's his mom? Oh, okay. Because she is sitting on his side. So, okay.
Just hold up the jurors so the witness can get in the witness box so we're not having an intersection here.
Okay. Thank you. I was like, is that why would she be sitting? Why would Anna's mom be sitting on the other side? You know what I mean? Why would Anna's mom be sitting on his side? That would be insane. So his mom is there. Okay. Same mom that he allegedly went to go see and visit. Same mom that he drove that path and discarded the murder weapon and all that. Okay. Same mom. Let's skip ahead.
Doors back open, you need.
The next exhibit.
Subject to the prior objections, any new objections?
No, Your Honor.
The text message packet, how many pages is it? Well, I'll have somebody count that.
43 pages.
43 pages. 43 pages of text messages between Anna Walsh and William Fastow are now in evidence as Exhibit 145.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Your Honor, if I might again approach the witness and stand there for one moment.
You may.
What it do, Trey?
Mr. Fastow, this is a printout that you gave, correct?
Yes.
And if you could just tell us who's in the blue and who's in the gray?
Anna Walsh is in the gray. My messages are in the blue.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
And in the course of this, you and Anna text some pictures as well. Is that right?
That's
Uh-oh.
correct.
And
Some D pics.
going to page 40.
Yes.
What is that a picture of?
Uh-uh.
That's a toothbrush that Anna had given me that she had left at my house, and I had packed it to bring with me to Idaho.
And what does that toothbrush say on it?
It says Cohasset Dental.
And sir, these text messages also discuss intimacy. Is that right?
Yes, I believe so.
And your trip to Dublin?
Yes.
And
Don't cheat, y'all. Don't cheat.
you also received a photograph, which is in that, well, you received several other photographs, which are in those text messages from Anna, and one of them is on
Right, Trey. Right.
apologize, Your Honor.
I'm done. Hit that like button down below, y'all. Don't forget to subscribe, please, and thank you.
One of them is with her son, is that right?
One of the pictures?
Yes.
Yes.
And she sent you that, and it says Anna and her son, is that correct?
Yes.
And she's showing you something that he made her, is that right?
Yes, I believe that's correct.
May I approach Your Honor?
You may.
And is this that photo?
Yes.
And is that the necklace she's trying to show you?
Yes.
I'd ask that this be the next exhibit.
Objection, Your Honor.
It will be marked, the photo will be marked and admitted as Exhibit 146.
And Your Honor, this is blurred per the court's instructions.
Yes, so can I just see it quickly? All right, so can I see counsel beside the bench?
Uh-oh. There's a photo that they are not okay with, this sounds like, which is also interesting because clearly, like, you know, I'm gonna skip ahead though. Hold on.
Face is blurred out. It wasn't that way in the original, but it's irrelevant to your decision making. So that's why I instructed that it be blurred. All right, thank you.
I'd ask that that now be published for the jury.
You may publish it.
Okay.
Thank you. Did she also send you a photo on New Year's Eve as well?
She did.
I know, okay. May I approach?
You may.
I ask if you recognize this photograph.
Yes.
And what is this a photograph of?
This is a picture of Anna, our mutual friend Jen Mutlow, and one of her children.
I ask that this be the next exhibit.
Any objection?
None, Your Honor.
The photo of Anna Walsh, Jim Metlu, and the minor child are now in evidence as Exhibit 147.
Your Honor, this photograph is not redacted of the child, so I'm not going to publish it at this time.
Okay.
Exhibit 147. When did you plan to return from Idaho?
I was scheduled and I left on January 3rd.
And when did you return from Idaho?
I believe I came back very early the morning of January 4th. I think it was probably right around like midnight or 1 or 2 a.m.
And did you have plans to celebrate New Year's with Anna?
I did.
And when did you make those plans?
When I was in Idaho and she was in Cohasset.
And what were your plans for? When were your plans for?
Our plans were to have dinner on January 4th to celebrate New Year's and discuss our 1, 3, 5, and 10-year plans.
And what had you and Anna discussed about your future together?
We'd had a number of conversations about what a life together might look like, what merging two families would look like, how that might work. But I had always said to Anna that she needed to figure out how she wanted things to be with Brian and what she wanted to look like for her life before, we could make any sort of commitments or decisions.
And did you have dinner reservations for January 4th?
I did.
Did you have dinner on January 4th?
I did not.
What was the last contact that you had with Anna Walsh?
I received a text message from Anna. It was a Happy New Year's message right around the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve, East Coast time.
Did you respond to her?
I believe I did.
This was.
And then did you send her anything?
The following day, I had sent her a photo of me showing one of my children how to ski. I had sent her, I think, a waving hand emoji. I think I'd sent a question mark query and then a couple of other texts over the next day or two that went that were not responded to.
This was a serious relationship, y'all.
Did you try calling her?
I did.
When was that?
I believe I tried calling her on January 2nd, and it went straight to voicemail. I tried that a couple times, and then I called her from a landline, thinking that she may have blocked my cell phone.
Did she ever answer you?
She did not.
Were you concerned?
I was.
Did you have any contact with Brian Walsh after you sold the townhouse to Anna?
I may have had a call or two with him discussing the townhouse. I don't really recall. It would have been dealing with property matters. And then he called me on January 4th.
And did you answer that call?
I did not.
What did you do?
I pushed the call to my voicemail.
Why'd you do that?
I was in an intimate relationship with his wife. I had not heard from her in several days. And frankly, I was concerned that maybe he had found out and was calling to confront me.
Did he leave you a voicemail?
No.
Did you call him back?
I did not, but he called me a few hours later again.
When was that?
A few hours after the initial call, so maybe mid-morning, noonish. I couldn't tell exactly.
And did you answer that second call?
No, I pushed that to voicemail as well.
He said, hell to the no.
Um,
We good.
Did Brian Walsh leave you a voicemail?
The second time he did.
Oh, boy.
And did you provide that voicemail to law enforcement?
Yes, I did.
Your Honor, I'd ask that the voicemail be the next exhibit.
He may have
Any
wanted to
objection?
take, yeah.
No,
He
Your
may,
Honor.
he may have wanted to
The
take them both
voicemail
out.
message from Brian Walsh to William Fasto is now in evidence as Exhibit 148.
Crazy. I think we're going to hear it.
I'd ask Ms. Gilman to play that now.
Good afternoon, William. It's Brian Walsh. I hope all is going well. I was just reaching out to basically everybody I could. Anna hasn't been in touch for a few days. I spoke to work today. She hasn't been in. They went to the house and she wasn't there, or it was like she's been there recently. So just wondering if you've spoken to her in the near, recently, like Sunday or the last 2 days. Just so let me know, or if you know anyone that might have that contact with her, just calling everyone. So sorry to bother you. Sure, everything's fine, and you can reach me at 617-929-8646. Thanks.
Wow.
What did you do after receiving that voicemail, sir?
I immediately called Brian back.
And what happened when you called Brian back?
I told him that I was concerned. We had discussed that Anna had been missing since New Year's Day. And I was actually driving at the time that I made the call. I told him that I was nearby the house and that I could stop by the house and check to see if she was there, if that would be beneficial.
And what did you, did you do that?
I did.
And how did you get into the house?
Brian provided me the garage code. I opened the garage and entered the garage bay underneath the house.
And was there a car in the garage?
There was not.
Was there usually a car in the garage?
Anna usually parked in the garage, yes.
And did Anna have a car?
Yes.
Do you know what kind?
I believe it was a Volkswagen Taos.
Did she have one car, two cars, if you know?
Just one car that I know of.
Do you know, did you look inside the house?
I checked the door leading from the garage to the house. That door was locked, so I couldn't enter the house.
Did you notice any damage to the house?
I did not.
And what did you do after going to the house?
I called Brian, let him know that there was no sign that she was there, that her car wasn't there. It didn't look like anyone had been home. And then I actually came back later that evening and checked the garage again in the hopes that she might have shown up.
And did you see anything at that time?
No, it was the same.
Your Honor, I approach.
You may.
Do you recognize that necklace?
Yes,
What is that?
it is it's a Gucci pendant necklace that Anna wore frequently.
Thank you. I'd ask that this be the next exhibit.
Any objection?
None, Your Honor.
Do you also recognize?
Marked and admitted as Exhibit 149.
Sorry, Your Honor. you recognize anything else in the photograph?
She's wearing a Cartier watch, which was her primary timepiece. And I believe it's hard to tell with the resolution of the photo, but it looks like she is wearing her engagement ring.
Thank you very much. Your Honor, I'd ask that this be published to the jury. Again, this has been blurred at.
You may, and you can publish it electronically, and you can do it the old-fashioned way also.
I'd ask to do it the more modern way.
All right. Go right ahead,
Thank you.
as you wish.
Thank you.
Huh.
You had said that you had communicated with her after New Year's Eve. Did you only text her, or did you also communicate through Instagram or other platforms?
I tried to call her through using the cell phone, the landline in Idaho. I sent her text messages, and I probably messaged her through Instagram, but I don't recall.
No, I'm sorry. I'm specifically referring to when you texted her like Happy New Year at New Year's at midnight. Was that on text message, through Instagram, or something else, if you remember?
It would have been text message or Instagram.
Okay. Thank you. And have you seen Anna Walshe since December 25th of 2022?
I have not.
Thank you, Mr. Fastow.
Cross-exam.
Good morning.
Here we go, across.
You had mentioned that you met Anna Walshe, I guess, in the late winter, early spring of 2022?
Yes,
And you were introduced to her through a mutual friend, Jem Mutlu?
correct.
And Mr. Mutlu is also in the real estate business?
He is.
And at first you were introduced because Mrs. Walshe was looking for a property in the DC area to relocate her family.
Correct.
And you assisted her in, excuse me, finding the townhouse?
I did.
Okay. And when you were looking or showing her that townhouse, at some point you FaceTime with Mr. Walshe, who was back in Boston, so he could see the property as well?
Yes.
And this was a property for the whole family?
Yes.
Okay. I think you said that quickly you guys became confidants?
Yes.
Okay, and when you say confidants, do you mean really good friends? Would you share secrets? Would you commiserate about being, hardworking? What do you mean by confidant?
We were both at very vulnerable times in our lives. I was dealing with a separation and what was soon to be a full-fledged divorce.
Okay,
And initially, unbeknownst to me, but became quite obvious, is that she was dealing with a pretty substantial family legal trouble.
okay. Let me start with, you had mentioned your separation. When you met Anna Walshe in that late winter, early spring, you were recently separated.
My wife and I had been estranged since late November to early December of I guess it would have been 2021.
Okay, so just a few months.
Yeah.
Okay, and you had 2 young sons?
Yes.
Okay. And I think you had mentioned that Mrs. Walshe, Anna Walshe, had described an argument that she had with Brian Walsh about some charges on a credit card?
Yes,
So they had an argument about finances or money?
yes,
Okay. During your marriage, did you ever have an argument or disagreement with your wife about finances or money?
yes,
You had also mentioned that there was an argument, I guess, on or around Christmas Day between Anna Walsh and Brian Walsh, right?
yes,
Okay. And am I correct? Excuse me. Am I correct that this argument was because she was delayed in coming home?
yes,
On Christmas Day?
yes,
Okay. And so it's Christmas Day, they have 3 sons, and her flight gets canceled, and she's late coming up, right?
yes,
And so from what you talked to her about, that was upsetting to Mr. Walsh.
yes.
The property that she purchased for the family, that was about $1.3 million?
Yes,
And was it paid for in cash? Was there a mortgage?
I believe there was a mortgage.
Okay. And it was a 4-floor townhouse?
Yes,
How many bedrooms?
4.
4. So 1 for each boy and then a master bedroom for Mr. Walsh and Anna Walsh?
Correct.
Okay. When you initially became friends with Anna Walsh, I think you said you would communicate with her through text message and Instagram?
Yes,
And Instagram, you said it's private. I think the kids say DM, you would DM each other?
sure.
Okay. So when you were communicating on Facebook, you weren't posting romantic, intimate messages on her public Facebook page?
I was not.
Okay. And I think you had told us that you would comment on her page, but would you comment like, love you, can't wait to see you soon? Or would it be something like, oh, fun night or great pic?
It was more the latter.
Okay, so they weren't flirtatious, open messages?
No,
Okay. And you had mentioned on her Instagram that I think, or maybe you didn't, she would post a lot.
yes.
Okay. You were never in any of those photographs?
I believe that she referenced me in one of those photographs. She had attended a yoga event that I had hosted,
Okay.
and she had posted a picture of herself at that event, and I believe that she had tagged me in that photo.
Well, you were the host, right?
Yes,
You set it up.
yes,
So she went, it was like, hashtag thanks Will for yoga type thing.
yes.
Okay. And your Instagram page, you weren't posting pictures of the 2 of you on that page?
I was not.
Okay. The timeline of your relationship with Anna, how quickly did it go from friends to more than friends?
Fairly quickly.
Bless you. So were you intimate with her after a week, after a month? When did you start becoming intimate?
To be honest, I don't remember the exact moment, but I
Okay.
know it was very shortly after her move to Washington, D.C.
Okay. You had mentioned, I think, that
Scandalous.
things had gotten more serious in July, so it had been going on for a few months at that point?
That's correct.
So from the spring of 2022 through New Year's Eve of 2022, during your conversations or time with Anna Walsh, she never told you that Brian was suspicious of you?
I had asked Anna what Brian's reaction would be if she
My
ever found
question
out.
is not what you asked her. My question is, at no point did she ever come to you concerned and say, I think my husband knows I have an affair or he's suspicious of you?
We had one episode where Brian called me while we were out to dinner, and I showed the phone to Anna because it was unusual for Brian to call me. Anna then later called Brian, and Brian had claimed that one of their children had taken his phone and called me by accident. That would be the closest thing that had happened where we felt concerned that maybe Brian had found out.
So I guess I'm not asking if you felt concerned. I mean, you're having an illicit affair. You're always kind of concerned someone's going to find out, right?
I mean, I suppose.
My question to you is, did Anna ever text you or call you and say, look, I think Brian is suspicious that I'm having an affair?
Anna never texted or called me. and said that she felt that Brian knew that we were having an affair.
You had mentioned that you had introduced or socialized with your friends and Anna Walsh.
Yes,
The friends that you had that you would socialize with Anna Walsh, they weren't connected to Brian in any way.
no,
Um,
except for Jem Mutlow.
okay, and did Jem Mutlow ever come to DC?
He did not, but we had correspondence.
Okay. And as far as you know, well, let me ask you this. You didn't tell Jem Mutlow about your relationship with Anna.
I don't recall.
You don't recall. Okay. Anna never told Jem Mutlow about your relationship.
I'm sorry, is that a question?
It sure is.
I don't know what Anna told Jem Mutlow or what she didn't.
So Jem Mutlow was the reason you guys met, right?
Correct.
You guys, or you were good friends?
I would say that we were professional associates.
Okay.
Actually, let me couch that. I would say we were friends.
Okay. Did you and Anna ever socialize with Jem Mutlow together?
Not to my knowledge, no. Not that I recall.
So did you ever go to dinner with Jem and hold hands with Anna, flirt with her in front
No.
of Jem? No. So would it be fair to say that you were keeping this from a mutual friend of yours?
I don't know if I was keeping it from him. Jem Mutlow and I had numerous conversations during the time that I knew Anna. We've had conversations following Anna's disappearance. And frankly, it's a little difficult for me to tell you what Jem knew or when or what I told him. I mean, this is something that's played out over 3 years. So
Your answer is you don't know if you ever told Jem Mutlow about your romantic relationship with Anna Walsh.
I don't know if I told her before she disappeared.
Okay. So you talked to him after?
Yes,
And you told him after that you were in a romantic relationship
he certainly knew after that we were in a romantic relationship.
because you told him?
Yes, I believe so.
But you don't know if you told him when you and Anna were dating?
I cannot recall if I told him before or after.
Okay. You had mentioned on direct that you and Anna had conversations about your future.
Yes,
And going into the Christmas holidays, I know you were going to Idaho. Anna Walsh was planning to head back. At that point, there was never any specific plan for Anna to tell Brian about her relationship with you.
not that I'm aware.
Well, you've been asked questions and testified about this before, right?
That's correct.
And when you testified, am I correct that either Mr. Connor or Ms. Yaz were asking you questions about the nature of your relationship with Mrs. Walsh?
Is this reference to the grand jury testimony?
In fact, let me probably ask you this. Have you had a chance before you flew up today to review your grand jury testimony?
I reviewed my grand jury testimony with the state via a call that was, I think, over a month or two ago.
Okay. So you were specifically asked in March of 2022 if there was any specific plan to tell Brian about your relationship with Anna, and you told the grand jury that day that there was not.
That is correct.
So there was no plan as Anna went home for Christmas to be with her family that she was going to come clean and tell Brian about you.
As I said, there was no plan that I was aware of.
She never told you, hey, Will, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna talk to Brian. I'm gonna blow up my marriage and come be with you. She never told you that.
That is correct.
She didn't tell you, I really want to tell him I just want to be with you before she went home for Christmas.
Objection.
Sustained.
That is correct.
You guys never communicated on Facebook Messenger, right?
We may have, I don't recall.
Well, did you have a Facebook page?
Yes,
And did Anna have a Facebook page?
Yes,
And did you turn over any Facebook messages between yourself and Mrs. Walsh to the police?
I don't believe so.
I think you had told us that Anna would never want, or maybe I'm paraphrasing, but Anna would never want her husband, Brian, to find out about the two of you inadvertently, right?
Correct.
That I think you mentioned integrity was the word that she used, that if anyone was going to tell him, she wanted to be the person to do that.
Correct.
And at least in December, heading into Christmas, there was no plan to tell him.
Not that I was aware of.
You had mentioned that you guys would go to dinners together.
Yes,
Did you ever go to dinner with a woman by the name of Alyssa Kirby?
not that I recall.
And Alyssa Kirby is a good friend of Anna's that also lived in DC,
Yes,
and she would socialize with Alyssa Kirby.
yes,
You also mentioned that you go to bars together.
yes,
Would Alyssa Kirby ever join you and have a few drinks, the three of you?
not that I recall.
I think you mentioned that you brought her to some work functions.
Yes,
Okay. And at those work functions, as far as you knew, there was no one who knew Brian Walsh at those work functions.
that's correct.
And again, not to belabor this, but I think you went on boating trips, you went to the movies. This was with either just Anna or with your friends.
Yes, the only exception to that was I did go to a work event that Anna's company held. It was a Tishman Speyer Architects Forum.
Okay, and this was in DC.
Yes,
And Tishman Speyer is one of the things they do, is there a real estate management company? And I'm probably fumbling that.
I think that they're a real estate management and development and investment company.
Okay, and you're a realtor.
Yes,
Okay, so when you were there, were you kind of talking shop with other people there or colleagues there?
I was there in a professional capacity.
In a professional capacity? Yes?
Yes,
Okay, and again, as far as you knew, there was no one at this professional or this function you went to for professional reasons that Mr. Walsh would know?
not that I'm familiar with, no.
And I'm assuming, because you mentioned you were there in a professional capacity, you guys aren't holding hands and kissing and flirting with each other in front of other people?
We are not, but I was her guest.
Excuse me?
I was her guest. I was invited by Anna Walsh.
No, I understand, but at this function that you described, you were there professionally as a real estate agent. You guys aren't playing kissy face and holding hands in front of people.
No,
That would be diabolical, y'all.
You had mentioned that Mrs. Walsh had talked to you about Brian's federal case, right?
yes,
And in the summer of 2022, the expectation and hope was that Mr. Walsh would not have to go to jail.
that was my understanding.
And the plan was for the entire family to relocate down to DC
Yes,
and live in that townhouse.
yes,
And I think you had said that Mrs. Walsh was the breadwinner.
yes,
And so her job was, she had kind of the big job, so then that's where the family would go.
yes.
I want to talk to you a little bit about her job and her hours. I think you had said you'd see her 2 to 3 times a week. Roughly, what were her hours Monday through Friday?
I don't honestly know. I assume they were 9 to 5 unless she had to work late for either an event they were hosting or management responsibilities with one of the properties that she was in charge of.
Okay, so it wouldn't be uncommon that she might have to work late or go to a function.
Yes,
Okay. And were there ever any times where she'd have to go in early for a meeting or something came up?
probably.
Okay. And you mentioned, I guess, professional functions. How often would that happen?
I couldn't say.
Okay.
I'm not just object.
Well, I'll talk to you about that in a minute, but we're going to go to our morning break.
All right, please. Push it open, follow me.
Man, this, I'm wondering what angle they're trying to go with, on this part
Witness may step down.
with the defense, right?
What's the objection?
I think she's asking things that he said he doesn't know.
So she wants you to lay the foundation.
I didn't hear what she said,
She
sorry.
said he didn't know. Everybody can be seated. We don't all have to all be
Didn't know.
standing. He didn't.
Know what she did, her words.
Oh, that's
So
fine.
she's just asking you to lay the foundation that he has a basis for knowing.
Okay.
Anybody need anything?
No, thank you.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, this is very interesting. I am kind of curious about the what the defense, what's their approach here? What are they trying to establish here? Right? Like, what are they trying to convey with this cross-examination? Because at the end of the day, this guy is not connected to her demise. Yes, he's connected to being in an extramarital affair with her, which one is obviously not a good thing, wrong, and all that stuff as well, but immorally corrupt, etc. But it, taking somebody's life is much more severe, much more serious than cheating. But I will say, don't cheat, okay? Do not, I repeat, do not cheat, okay? But nonetheless, what is the defense? What is their goal here in cross-examining him in this fashion? To me, it seems a bit, it just seems a little weird. But that's just me, okay? It just seems like, it's like, okay, you guys were, going to these events and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, sure, they were going to these events. Did she ever express to you that she wanted to leave him and be with you? And, all these questions, right? But, at the same time, it's like, what's the approach? Now, I know somebody, Nicole B just said, okay, trying to set up the husband for insanity, mental breakdown. I mean, then they should, I don't know. Then that would be their plea, right? Wouldn't that be their whole plea? Like, he lost his mind. He had temporary insanity at this moment. He blacked out when he realized, when he came to, she was already gone. He didn't know what he did. He did not know what he did, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? I feel like that would have been the approach in the first place. The whole thing is, he did not know. Their whole approach and their whole argument and what he's been saying is that he found her gone. He found her dead. He didn't go and put her hands, or put his hands on her. You see what I'm saying? That's the whole approach. That's the whole BS approach that they're going with. And then he freaked out, and then he chopped her up, and then he discarded the body. And the body is still nowhere to be found. He knows where the body is. Why not? If he's admitting to dismembering her, and he's admitting to misleading police, why not just say, hey, man, here are her remains. I put her here. You see what I'm saying? It just doesn't make any sense. He's saying that he did something to her remains. He is saying that he did that. He dismantled her. He took her apart. He definitely is saying, I did that. But the part that's still kind of driving me crazy is, if he's admitting to discarding her remains, well, actually, first, finding her unalive, dismantling her body, and then going and distributing her body somewhere, her parts somewhere, why not just tell the police where she at? The reason why is because he does not want them to know what exactly her cause of demise is. Because for a fact, if they were to find that, her remains, and they were able to do a proper autopsy, okay, and examination of her body, that her remains would definitely be saying something. Okay? Her remains would definitely tell a story. Now, if her remains were burned, okay, incinerated, like you said, Allie, if that's the case, then why not just say that, right? She's incinerated, and then I discarded the ashes somewhere. right? Just put them in the river or something crazy like that. Why not just say that? So I don't know if it's incinerated. I think he discarded her remains. He's scared to release that information to the police, because if they got their hands on her remains, they would find out that somebody definitely put their hands on her before she lost her life. That's it. And the person who put their hands on her before she lost her life is him. And I think that they'd find all kinds of evidence on her that would lead them to believe that he most definitely did this horrible, grisly crime. Now, here's the other thing. Obviously, they're going with not the defense, prosecution's going with the whole, at least right now with this testimony, they're going with the whole, yeah, he found out that she was cheating, that she was deeply in love. Let's be real, y'all. They were in love. This ain't a situation where they were just like, casually getting it on, which is still even more messed up anyway. Even messed up as well. Like, it's still that you're recreationally having a thing with somebody else on the outside of your marriage is really jacked up. I don't care how miserable you are in that relationship. I keep on saying, get your affairs in order, okay? Don't have affairs, okay? Just get your ish in order, right? But they definitely, guys, yes, they definitely were in love, okay? And not the Diddy kind of love, all right? But they were doing that hibbity dibbity, okay? Whole lot of baby oil and Astroglide, I'm sure, all right? And here's the other thing, trips. They were taking trips all over the world. Okay, not all over the world, but you know what I'm saying. They were taking trips. And I'm sure without Brian's knowledge, yeah, I'm going to be flying to Serbia to see my ma for Thanksgiving. Oh, but no, I'm going to have this detour in the meantime for Thanksgiving with side piece Will as he jingles my bells. And then I'm going to fly to Serbia and see my mama. You see what I'm saying? That, to me, pretty insane. They went on trips together. That is a relationship. That is not just somebody getting it on and having just, having a little rendezvous every once in a while at the Motel 6. No, they were bumping uglies internationally, y'all. Internationally. Real talk. That's crazy, right? So, I'm not blaming no victim. I'm not blaming anybody. All I'm saying is don't bump uglies with people that isn't your spouse. And I feel like that's just a thing that everybody should know. Like I said, I'm not blaming the victim. No, shoot. No blaming the victim here. What happened to her is absolutely terrible. Scary too. All right. But at the same time, and I already said this, taking somebody's life in this fashion because they were having an extramarital affair, it's not right. It's not right at all. Okay? Two wrongs don't make a right in this situation. Okay? He should have just let her go. Here's the other thing, too. The dynamics behind closed doors. We don't really know what was going on between her and Bri, okay, B-dubs, before she lost her life. In the months, if not years, leading up to her demise. We don't know. He could have been like, you're not going anywhere. I'll make your life a living hell. You see what I'm saying? Maybe it was one of those things. I don't know. I can't justify any of this, right? Why she went off and, walked out on her husband at that time, blah, blah, blah. Because at the end of the day, if you do not want to be with somebody who is a criminal and you're disgusted by that particular person, suddenly you file for divorce and you keep it moving, right? You just keep it moving. But at the same time, she's still stuck with him. The question I'd like to know is why, right? She was living in a completely different city. She would have to commute back and forth just so that she can spend time with her kids and all that. Now, I'm not, like I said, these are just questions that I have. Okay, I don't know the definitive answer to it, but those are questions I think a lot of us would like to know, right? But nonetheless, regardless of her having an extramarital affair or not, she was definitely not in a happy relationship. So if you just take the affair and push it to the side for a second, she was not in a good relationship with this man, Brian Walshe. Brian Walshe is a liar, a fraudster, a con man, a convicted felon, by the way, that somehow was holding the reins on his wife, Anna Walshe. Why? And I guess for her, all right, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not going to try to justify her extramarital affair, but maybe her way of getting control back was to have this affair in some weird, some subconscious, weird type of way. I don't know. But what I do know is that what happened here should not have happened. She shouldn't have lost her life. Regardless if Brian found out that she was having an extramarital affair, which yes, it's messy, it's jacked up, it's sad, it's wrong, okay? It still does not mean that you automatically go and take that particular person out. Okay? It's just not what you do. All right? Um now let me so here's the thing. Um I am gonna, yeah, Ali, I'll check that email here in a second. I'm gonna use this opportunity to go use the restroom real quick, a little quick potty break, but I'll be right back to talk more with you guys. So just hold tight, give me a second, and I will be with you guys in just a minute. Okay, back at it. So thanks for waiting for me, guys. Appreciate you guys. But we do have something else while we wait. I figured we could just kind of pull up a few things that we can talk about here really quick while we wait for this trial, for this testimony, cross-examination to start up again. There is something that just broke just a little bit ago. And I think this is very interesting. And this also revolves around what happened with J6. Remember that whole J6 thing? Now, I know it's controversial. There's a lot of people that think that have all their opinions, differing opinions about what happened on J6. But we do have something that's very interesting. A suspect has been detained. Yeah, by the name of Brian Cole, a Virginian, by the name of Brian Cole. Okay, he has been named as the person who dropped off those boom booms, okay, outside the U.S. Capitol the night before the J6 riots. This is some very interesting stuff. Okay, so like I said, we're still on that trial. Don't worry. But I do want to share this with y'all because I do think that this is very, very interesting. So the FBI has arrested a Virginia anarchist suspect named Brian Cole in connection with several of these pipe bombs laid near Capitol Hill on the eve of J6. Yeah, another Bri. What the hell is going on with these Bryans? Real talk. I ain't met a Brian. No, I'm just kidding. But this is crazy. Brian Laundrie, Brian Walshe. Now you got Brian Cole. Okay. So Cole was identified as the suspect on Thursday morning. He was also detained today, this very, very early morning, by the way. Okay. As sources told MS, well, now they're called MS Now, but it used to be MSNBC. All right. That has been linked to the support of anarchist ideologies. So the suspect has been charged with laying these boom booms. Hold on. Let me pause this so I can tell you guys what's going on. Okay. Laying these boom booms outside the Democratic and Republican National Committee headquarters, which did not detonate, thank God. Cole is a resident of Woodbridge, Virginia, and was arrested in the early hours of Thursday morning. The exact charges are not yet clear, and Cole is expected in court later today. All right. The arrest marks the first major breakthrough in the 5-year investigation that had baffled the agency and sparked a wave of conspiracy theories. In fact, some people thought it was Marjorie Taylor Greene that did that ish, y'all. Yeah. Like, it was insane. Remember, they're like, see how that person's walking? That person's walking just like a woman. That's a woman trying to walk like a man. You know what I mean? It was insane. Okay. And there's a lot of people that had speculation that it was Marjorie Taylor Greene that was dropping off those boom booms. Real talk. That was the rumor out there, right? That was the conspiracy theory. Okay. But everybody has their moments of Candace Owens. Let me be real. Everybody has their Candace Owens moments. All right. And that was one of them for a lot of people. All right. So it comes after the FBI ordered a $500,000 reward for leads to identify the suspect when authorities shared previously unreleased footage of the perp stalking the streets of Washington, D.C. the night before the infamous chaos, right? So, however, the arrest was reportedly not the result of a breakthrough in the investigation, but came after the FBI reviewed existing evidence it had collected in 2021 and 2022. The law enforcement says, and sources said, that that Cole's arrest may cause embarrassment for the FBI because the suspect could not have been arrested years ago, or could have been arrested years ago, if investigators had pieced together existing evidence. So they're basically saying that the administration before had plenty of time to figure this ish out, but they were too dumb. But now we have Cash Patel leading the fray. We got it all figured out now because of Cash Patel and his amazing leadership, right? Right. Moving on. In the surveillance footage from the plot video, showed the hooded suspect setting down a backpack in South Capitol Street before putting on glasses and scanning their surroundings for witnesses and walking off. The suspect then walked to the nearby DNC headquarters, where a boom boom was placed at around 7:54 p.m. So they just wanted to cause absolute chaos, all right? But these things never went off. So were they just duds? Were they just fake? Just there to throw people off? I don't know. But this happened before J6, just so you know. Before all the stuff, the night before J6, which is wild. So they knew some chaos was going to happen of some sort. And that's one of those conspiracy theories that I look at with my Candace Owens hat on. Okay? Surveillance then showed the suspect walking to the RNC headquarters and placing a boom boom there at around 8:16 p.m. And he was last seen on video 2 minutes later, leaving investigators baffled over their true identity. The suspect wore a face mask, glasses, a gray hooded sweatshirt, gloves, and black and light gray Nike Air Max Speed Turf shoes with a yellow logo. The devices planted outside the two buildings in the Capitol Hill neighborhood were located the very next day, just hours before hordes of Donald Trump supporters descended on D.C. to protest the 2020 election results, which we already know. We all saw that at nauseum. Okay, when it all went down, we watched it live. I mean, it was absolutely nuck and futz. We can all agree on that. U.S. Capitol Police and agents from the FBI and the Bureau of the ATF, okay, were first called to the RNC office at 12:45 on January 6th. About 30 minutes later, the agents and technicians were still investigating the RNC, another call came for a similar explosive device found at the DNC headquarters nearby. Those boom booms were rendered safe, like duds, okay, and no one was actually hurt, which is absolutely great. But isn't that crazy? It has like a little, it looks like a little timer on it, like one of those clocks that you have, those timers that a kitchen timer, you know what I'm saying? One of those old school ones, right? Pretty insane. Officials said that the handmade boom booms were constructed out of threaded galvanized pipes, kitchen timers, like I just said a second ago, and homemade black powder. These boom booms, the pipe bomb plot, spawned numerous conspiracy theories as the case remained unsolved for years, including last month as conservative social media commentators falsely claimed that the FBI had identified a former Capitol Police officer as the suspect. But now you got this guy named Brian Cole, who we don't even know who the hell this guy is. They have not put out a photo of this guy at all. So I'm very curious about this. But the claim said that the female police officer who was identified using gait analysis, and the former officer's attorney said that the accusations were recklessly false, absurd, and defamatory. While the arrest could cause embarrassment for investigators who failed to identify the suspect for years, it is likely to be lauded by the Trump White House after it poured new resources into the case earlier this year. Particularly, let's not forget, Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino. Remember him? He's been out of the limelight for a minute since the Epstein files, but has often spoken of his desire to solve the case, including previously speculating that it may have been an quote-unquote inside job. The hunt for the suspect was one of the largest in FBI history, and investigators struggled for years to piece together evidence collected in the chaotic aftermath of the J6 chaos. This included subpoenaing box store retailers for credit card data to find customers who bought specific kinds of battery connectors used to manufacture these actual boom booms. Agents tracked down purchasers of battery connectors to those whose phones were located near the DNC and RNC headquarters at the time these devices were actually planted, but the FBI found there was no credible match. But they were able to match something with this guy named Brian Cole. A man named Brian Cole was allegedly rocking this gear and dropped off bags, these boom booms, in these various areas right outside DNC and RNC headquarters the day before the chaos went down on J6. And a lot of people, even myself, has looked at this whole situation. I still feel like that whole thing was like a choreographed job. Okay. I don't know if it was an inside job, but it's very interesting that you have that planted the night before the chaos that happened on J6, right? That cannot be a coincidence. There's no way that can be a coincidence. So somebody wanted to cause anarchy and cause chaos. But luckily, thankfully, those devices didn't go off. But let's continue. Let's get back into this trial. I just wanted to give you guys that breaking news because that was breaking while we were listening to William. Okay, side piece Will, I'd like to call him. All right. But let's catch up. Let's rock and roll.
Proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon, or good morning again.
Here we go.
Before the break, we were talking about whether or not there was any definitive plan for
Sam.
Anna to tell Brian about your relationship. I want to talk to you a little bit more about conversations that you did have with her in which she told you that if Brian was going to find out, she wanted it to be from her, right?
Yes.
And that it would really upset her if he found out any other way.
Yes.
To the point where it would devastate her if Brian ever found out that she was having an affair.
Yes.
And you had mentioned, I think on direct, that you had conversations about a future together,
Yes.
but you never had extensive, concrete conversations about being together and when that would happen.
Correct.
And at this time frame, that summer, fall, and winter of 2022, you were also in no position to openly start a new relationship with another person.
If you mean that I had not finalized my divorce, that is correct.
No, you were in a position that because your older son would have been devastated if you started bringing another woman around.
Yes, I did say that.
And if I'm correct, I believe on page 36 of Exhibit 145, which are text messages that you turned over. Oh, apologize. No, it is 36. And this is, the text message that you turned over, just to be clear, are from December 29th of 2022 through January 5th of 2023.
I assume that's correct.
Want me to approach so you can look at it?
Sure.
Your Honor, may I?
You certainly may.
Am I correct in the text messages that you provided? It starts at December 29th of 2022?
Yes, that's what it says on the cover page here.
And on page 36, and I can approach again if you need it, you say, "He can't imagine me with someone else. Like all children of separated parents, he deeply wants us to reconcile. Introducing him to someone else would destroy that fantasy. It would crush him now." Right?
Yes.
And that was right around Christmas time and New Year's that you texted Anna Walshe that.
Yes.
So you had no intentions of having any immediate plans to openly start dating Anna Walshe with your two young boys.
Correct.
You were a concerned dad. You loved your son. You were protective of his feelings.
Yes.
At the same time you were having conversations just about her marriage and your relationship, you knew that it was always a possibility after having these conversations that Anna would stay with Brian, the father of her children.
Yes,
And while she would talk to you about arguments they had about finances or the stress of his federal case, she always spoke to you about him in a positive light.
yes,
And you knew from her words, that she cared for him deeply.
very much so.
And I believe during these times when you would talk about her relationship with Brian Walshe, she wanted everyone to see him in the light that she saw him.
Very much so.
The text messages that you turned over to the police, is it fair to say that the police asked you questions about whether or not you had any information that Mr. Walshe had discovered your affair with his wife?
Yes, I'd say that's fair.
Okay. And you understood that anything that could help them in determining if Mr. Walshe had discovered your relationship, you would turn over or it would be helpful.
Yes,
And so I asked you about Facebook and you said you don't remember.
that's correct.
Well, so you don't remember if you would send any flirtatious, sexy, or intimate messages or posts on Facebook? Isn't that something you would remember if you're trying to keep it a secret?
I don't recall if I used Facebook Messenger as a means of communication with Anna Walshe. I would periodically delete messages. I don't recall if I had deleted messages from Facebook. I had certainly deleted messages from Instagram and text messages I had over the term of our relationship.
Why are you deleting stuff?
Honestly, I said things to Anna that I might have found embarrassing that I just didn't want to look at, so I would delete the messages.
But you weren't trying to hide it from anyone. It was just your own kind of squeamishness or embarrassness from whatever you had sent.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Allie, thank you so much for the article. I'm going to read that when we get, if there's another break.
One moment, Your Honor.
Yes.
I don't know if they're going to do a sidebar here, but if they do a sidebar, I'll
Nothing further. Thank you, sir.
okay.
Redirect.
Nothing, thank you.
So he's done.
The witness may step down.
Skadoosh.
Commonwealth may call its next witness.
Commonwealth would call Christopher Murphy.
Hold on, I'm going to skip ahead.
this way, sir.
Because I'd like to know who this guy is too. Because I'm only okay. Let me pause this really quick, okay? Because obviously I'm here. I was only here going live with you guys for this, for the lover, okay? But I am kind of curious about who this person is as well. But before we get into that, I do want to share with you guys this too, okay? So just give me a second. My mouse is tripping. So, but I do want to pull this up. I appreciate the article being sent to me so that I got this information as well. And it's crazy because there's new photos and all that we need to see as well. Okay, take a look at this. All right, it says, without a body, Brian Walshe murder trial hinges on circumstantial evidence, experts say. Now, look, this is a photo of him with everything. Look at that. You got buckets. You got mops. He even got one of those, one of those industrial, you know what I mean? The thing that you see, the janitor, okay? The custodian, I'm sorry, okay? He was, and look at this. He's still showing up with the mask on and he's wearing gloves. This is very Brian Koberger, guys. Doesn't this scream Brian Koberger a little bit? Like he would go to supermarkets and he would be wearing gloves during the time that we weren't worried about getting the Rona or anything of that sort. We're not in lockdown anymore. This is 2023, guys. Okay, this is 2023. No more lockdown. Okay, they got him on camera rocking this. Look at all that stuff he got up, and he's holding one with his chin. He's holding one down with his chin as he's walking to go check out, and he's using cash. Remember, this is the guy who, he didn't do anything wrong. He admits to doing this, though. He just doesn't admit to taking her life. Now, this is interesting. By the time investigators found surveillance video showing Brian Walshe dumping large trash bags into dumpsters on the South Shore in early January of 2023, it was already too late, which is terrible. So we'll never get her remains, ever. And here's why. The bags, which Walshe has now admitted contain body parts of his wife, Anna, had been picked up and transferred to the Southeastern Massachusetts Resource Recovery Facility in Rochester, where they were shredded or incinerated. So what Allie said earlier about the incineration of her remains, I thought she was just like saying, okay, he just built a bonfire somewhere and just put her in the bonfire. You know what I mean? Burned her body. No, it's because him discarding her remains in that particular area, their way of getting things done is either shredding or incinerating the actual trash. So her body was probably either shredded or incinerated or both, y'all. So that's the reason why there will never be any remains ever found. Okay? So still investigators traveled to the dumpsters in hopes of finding viable evidence. It was determined that there was none. This is what the affidavit said, all right? Other evidence that investigators collected at the dumpster outside of Brian Walshe's mama's apartment, okay, in Swampscott, included clothing that belonged to Anna, her COVID-19 vaccination card, towels with red/brown stains, a hatchet, a hacksaw, okay, according to prosecution's theory of the case. Her remains have never been found, and it appears cannot be recovered. And he's still on trial, like we already know, for taking her life. So the reason why we're never going to see anything that where she has gone, where she has been found and has, her body's been recovered. The only reason why is because he took it to a place that basically shredded or incinerated her. So she would, if they were to find anything of her, she'd be shredded to smithereens. I hate to say that, but that's the reality of it all. Or she could be ash. So what he did in that house, we will never fully know. But we do know, and I feel like we all agree, for the most part. I know there's some naysayers, some people feel like, maybe he really didn't do this. But we all feel that he did this. The only person that holds the key of what actually happened to her is him, because he did this. But I want to see who this guy is that's coming up. I'm just kind of curious about it. But there is a lot of other stuff that we need to talk about. There's a lot going on here in the news realm. So I might be back on. I'm going to see this, and if it's anything of interest, if it's like somebody just talking about like deep diving into digital stuff, that whole technical jargon crap, I'm not interested in it. I want to see the meat and potatoes, the main hitters, the big hitters for this particular trial. The lover was definitely one of them. And now we're here. Okay. So let's see what's going on here. And yes, this particular Brian, B-dubs, okay, BW, all right, is an absolute monster. That is for sure. Who is this guy?
May I proceed, Your Honor?
You may.
Thank you. Sir, could you please state your name and spell your last name for the record?
Christopher Murphy, Murphy.
What do you do for work, sir?
Construction.
Where were you working in January of 2023?
I was working at a painting company. I'm sorry, I haven't been working there for 3 years, so
It's okay.
it's been a while.
All right. So you were working at a painting company.
Yes,
How long do you think you were at that painting company?
a year.
And in that time, what were your responsibilities at that company?
I was a salesperson.
Okay. In January of 2023, were you running any specials at that point in time?
Yes.
What was the specials?
We were offering 15% off any work that people needed to have done.
And so how are you contacting people at this point in time to offer the special?
We were calling all our past customers that we had, we used to work for. And we do like a cold call kind of thing. And I called, a bunch of people that day, and the defendant was one of them.
Well, let me get to that. So when you were calling people, do you remember what phone number you were calling from? Was it a work number?
It was a work phone, yes.
And if I were to tell it to you, would you, actually, I'll ask you right now, do you remember that work number right now?
No, I don't.
Because it's been 3 years, you haven't enough time to remember where you worked.
I don't remember my own number.
All right. So at that point in time, was the number 774-534-2005 your work number?
Possible.
Okay, possible. So now, you said that you were calling people offering this special. And so at any point in time, did you have the opportunity to reach out to Mr. Brian Walsh?
Yes, I did.
Okay, can you explain to us how?
Well, we got a list of customers that we had, that were past customers, and each salesperson got a certain list. My area was in the Hingham area. So I just went down the list and called customers, and he was, one of the customers on the list.
What day did you make this call?
January.
Okay, early or late?
Yeah, early, yeah.
Okay. And did you ever have the opportunity to connect with Mr. Walsh?
I did, yes.
And so what was the conversation you had with him?
Again, just talking about, work that possibly needed to be done, and he stated that he didn't need any work to be done.
Okay. And then did you ever have any subsequent communications with Mr. Walsh?
Excuse me, I'm sorry, can you repeat?
Did you ever have the chance to talk or communicate with him again?
Once, I believe.
Okay. And how did that occur?
It was really quick.
Quick? Was it a phone call or a text message?
It was a phone call.
Okay. And who called who?
I called him first, and then I received a text later on during that day.
Okay. And you said you received a text?
Yeah.
To a cell phone?
Yes.
All right. And you're on the phone?
Yes.
Do you recognize these images, sir?
Yes, I do.
What are they, sir?
They were pictures sent to me describing a ceiling that needed to be repaired.
Okay. Now, the pictures that you're looking at here, sir, are they the pictures that were sent to you, or are they pictures of the phone with the pictures on them?
No, they're pictures of the phone, but they were sent to me, yes.
Certainly. And are they your phone?
Yes.
This Commonwealth would seek to have these marked as the next two exhibits.
Any objection?
None, Your Honor.
Pictures of the phone of the messages are now in evidence as Exhibit 150, 151. Thank you.
Your Honor, may I publish?
You may.
Thank you. Ms. Gilman, if we could have what's now been marked as Exhibit 150, which has a file name of Christopher Murphy, pick page 1. Sir, can you see this on the screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So whose phone is it we're looking at on the screen?
That is my phone.
Okay. And sir, we're looking at your phone. What is the message that begins this thread? Could you read it out loud?
I'm sorry. Let me just change glasses here. Oh, that's okay. It just says his address
Okay. Does it say any names with it?
Phone number.
Could you just read the message, sir?
It says, hello, Brian Walsh, S16 Chief Justice, Cushing Highway.
And does it have a phone number attached to it?
Yes, it does.
All right. And underneath that, sir, you said there's a picture?
Yes, there is.
Ms. Gilliland, can you scroll down again? Thank you. And
That's crazy. See that hole in the
can
ceiling?
we have Exhibit 151, which is Christopher Murphy Fix, page 2.
That's crazy. Did the blood
Sir, I'm going to
speak?
direct your attention to the bottom of this thread. Ms. Gilman, if you could enhance this. Sir, at the end of the thread, what is the message?
It says, good morning, let me know about the ceiling. Best, Brian.
And what's the date on the message?
January 6th.
So, sir, did you have any phone communications with Mr. Walsh besides the initial one in relation to this damage to the ceiling?
No.
Okay. Nothing further on.
Any cross-examination?
No questions, thank you, sir.
The witness may step down. Thank you.
That's crazy. You saw that ceiling?
Anna Walsh had signed a contract with Bar
Hold
Method.
on.
I believe it was September of 20,
Own the Bar Method in Hingham Center.
since September of 2021, I opened the studio.
And is that a franchise?
It is, yes.
And how many bar methods are in the United States?
I think at this point about 100.
And where exactly is your studio?
It's right in Hingham Center, sort of on South Street, 99 South Street, across from CVS.
And how many employees do you have at your studio?
16.
And how many clients did you have in 2022 into 2023?
I would say about 160 active clients.
And at that time, did you keep and maintain records for your business?
Yes.
And what kind of records did you maintain?
We maintained membership agreements and class history, purchases, time and date of classes taken, the number of classes each client took
And how did you keep those records?
electronically.
And why do you keep those records?
For regular course of business, but also to report to our franchise.
And do you have a corporate email?
Yes.
And what is that corporate email?
I have two, actually. One is hingham@barmethod.com, and the other is my personal business email, which is suzanne.garland@barmethod.com.
And you also keep payment information.
Yes.
And do you maintain all communications with clients in good faith?
Yes.
And do you keep your records in good faith as well?
Yes.
Did you know Anna Walsh?
I did.
And how did you know Anna Walsh?
I knew Anna for several years. Actually, prior to owning the Bar Method, it existed in Hingham Center. Another woman in town had owned it before it. I used to take classes there with Aunt Anna all the time. She and I would be there 4 times a week together taking classes. And then when I reopened the studio after COVID in 2021, she signed up right away. And again, she was coming 4 days a week up until the time that she was moving.
And what kind of membership did she initially have with you?
She purchased a Club Bar Unlimited membership, which allowed her to take as many classes as she wanted during the month for a fixed price.
And did you have a membership agreement with her?
I did, yes.
May I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
Ma'am, do you recognize this?
Yes, this is our month-to-month membership agreement that we keep with all clients on the unlimited plan.
And I'd ask you to look at the last page.
This is her signature.
It's at the agreement with Anna Walsh.
Yes.
Thank you. Your Honor, I'd ask that this be the next exhibit.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Marked and admitted into evidence, the membership agreement of Anna Walsh for Bar Method is in evidence as 152.
Ms. Garland, as part of the membership agreement, our members asked about their health.
Yes,
And do they have to sign off for medical information?
they have to sign that they are fit to take classes
Why is that?
for liability purposes for the studio.
So in December of 2022, how often would Anna Walsh attend Bar Method?
So she would be coming whenever she was in town. She was doing quite a bit of traveling back and forth to DC at that time. So I think she was there 3 or 4 times at least whenever she could come in, she wanted to be there.
So do you mean 3 or 4 times a week or something else?
I think December of 2022, she was there 3 or 4 times total, right?
Okay. And did she have a membership at that time?
She did not. She was paying drop-in classes.
And did you have communication with her about the classes via email?
Yes, she had emailed me when she found out that she was getting the new job in DC. She emailed me that she needed to discontinue her month-to-month unlimited class membership and that she would, drop in when she was around. And then when she came back to DC in December of 2022, she emailed me, I believe it was December 30th, saying that she had purchased a drop-in class, but she would rather do a special we were offering, which allowed her to take an unlimited amount of classes over the next month because she was going to be in the area more.
And you said when she came back, she came to DC, but did you mean when she came to
I'm sorry,
Cohasset?
when she came to Hingham, yes.
Okay. And did you maintain the email communication that you had with her in your normal course of business?
I did, yes. I kept my email from her and I have it to this day.
Okay. Your Honor, may I approach?
You may.
Yeah, that's kind of what
I'm
that's
showing
the
you 3 documents, if you could look at those.
that's the vibe I'm getting too. It's like she was perfectly fine. She was in good health. It's not like she just passed away in her sleep from like a heart failure or something crazy like that.
Yes.
I mean,
And what are those documents?
These are email communications from Anna to me. The first one is letting me know that she had gotten the new job opportunity in DC and telling me how wonderful her experience at the Bar Method had been. However, the last 10 years, she's taken classes in DC and the Boston locations. She said, we have developed an incredible team culture and feeling of being cared for. She loves the energy of the studio. She asked if we were ever considering opening one in DC. That was the first email. The second email was the one that I mentioned on December 30th, asking if she qualified for the 30-day unlimited special we were offering for $79. If so, could she exchange the single class that she booked for it, which is $29, and apply that towards the $79 special? And then I responded to her on January 1st because I was away on vacation at that time. And I said, technically, you don't qualify it since she had been in the studio recently, but I would honor it since her situation was so different than the norm.
now, real quick, yeah, I think that they're all just saying, hey, this is, that this whole thing, right, is she is healthy. She is doing fine. So much that she was doing classes, Pilates, yoga, bar. I forgot the name of the Bar Method or whatever they call it, Bar Fit or whatever it's called. I mean, she was very, healthy and very physically active. Okay. Aside from having, doing the hibbity dibbity with side piece Will, but she was healthy. So it's not like she just went out of her way, out of nowhere and just croaked on her own, just random heart failure out of nowhere. No, she was doing just fine. Okay. She was doing just fine. Same thing, boyfriend, side piece Will said the same thing. She was very serious about her health, her fitness. She was very serious about trying to get back to the shape she was in before she had children and all that stuff. So again, this is just another piece of proof that she didn't just randomly, unfortunately, die out of nowhere.
Your Honor, I'd ask that those be the next 3 exhibits.
And real quick, I know this really quick, okay? Somebody is, and we just talked about the breaking news just a second ago, but yeah, I will be back on to talk about that. We're gonna listen to a little bit more of this testimony here. And then of course, I'll probably be back on again to watch that presser because that is a big freaking deal. Okay. The J6 pipe boomer, okay, has been arrested. We talked about that just a little bit ago, breaking that news with you guys while during the break of this actual trial. But yeah, I'm going to be back on very shortly with that to talk about that press conference and all that. So does anybody know what time the press conference is at? That's what I'd like to know. Let me know in the comments.
Objection.
All right. They'll be marked and admitted into evidence. So the 3 different emails are one from, what are the dates of those emails?
The first would be from
I'm going to skip ahead
54.
because they're just doing,
Well,
they're filing things in.
220. Okay.
keep the
There we go.
And did you also keep the registration for December 31st of 2022?
The class registration log?
Yes, I apologize.
Yes, we do.
Thank you for correcting me. And that's maintained in the normal course of business?
Yes, we have records of every single class.
And I'd ask that this be the next exhibit.
Any objection?
None, Your Honor.
The class registration for the bar method is in evidence. It's 156.
May I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
And seeing that document, ma'am, do you, does that show, what does that show?
This shows that Anna Walsh created a reservation for class on the morning of December 31st. She did that on December 30th at 11:18 p.m. And it shows that she was checked in for class on December 31st at 8:17 p.m.
And does that show that she attended that class?
Yes.
Thank you.
Any cross?
Just briefly. Good morning.
Getting there.
The email that Mrs. Walsh had sent you asking to convert her drop into the unlimited monthly, that was on December 31st?
Was it December 30th or 31st?
December 30th or 31st?
Yes.
Okay. And the reason that she was asking to do that is because she expected to be in the South Shore area more the next month.
Yes.
Okay. You had mentioned that your studio requires a medical waiver.
When you sign the month-to-month agreement, you do acknowledge in there that you are healthy and that you have conferred with your doctor.
Okay. And she does that, or that person, for example, does that once when they first start coming to you as a client?
They sign that every time they sign a contract.
Okay. So when was the last time Anna Walsh had signed a contract with Bar Method?
I believe it was September of 2021. I don't think she was actually ever able to book that last contract she wanted to.
Okay, so the health waiver that you're talking about, or the medical waiver, was September of 2021?
Yes.
Okay, and the medical waiver that someone signs, do they have to provide any type of medical documentation to confirm they are in fact good health?
No, we don't require a letter from a physician.
So it's just self-reporting? Yes?
Yes.
Nothing further, Judge.
Okay.
Any redirect?
No, thank you.
The witness may step down. Thank you.
Do you want this?
Come on.
Commonwealth may call its next witness.
The Commonwealth would call Ashley Semino.
Okay, guys. So again, to me, this other stuff is just fluff. In my personal opinion, I wanted to hear the lover, okay, the side piece, say what he needed to say about this whole thing. Clearly, to me, there was a deep, deep relationship. This was a very serious and very deep relationship that was going on. And, of course, I want to hear, because he may take the stand. There's rumors that he's going to take the stand to defend himself. I'm very interested to see that as well. When there are big pieces, big moments, we are going to take a listen or take a look into those testimonies for sure. But at the end of the day, and of course, the verdict being read and all that. But at the end of the day, let me just be real. This mother lover, okay, this piece of trash, Brian Walshe, should be held completely accountable for the unaliving of his wife. Doesn't matter if she was cheating. Doesn't matter if there was marital issues. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, murder is still murder. She lost her life at the hands of that guy, and he did everything he could to cover it up, but he was dumb. Thank God he was dumb. And may justice reign upon him with such vengeance, and rightfully so. Because again, at the end of the day, how he discarded, how he removed this woman's life from this planet and then discarded her remains in this way is so diabolical, so disturbing. I hope that they give him the full extent of the law. Okay? That's what I hope that they do, personally. Also, you got to remember, this is the mother of his children, y'all. Think about that too. This is the mother of his children. Pretty wild stuff. But guys, that is the show. I'm going to be back on in probably like 15 minutes to give you guys the update, because there's some breaking news about the pipe bomber individual that was arrested and all that. So we're going to be talking about that here very soon. So stick around. Give me like 15 minutes so I can just get everything going, get everything set up and running so we can get as much information leading to the press conference, because there's going to be a press conference here in just a little bit revolving around that. It's pretty wild. That's pretty crazy updates, and we're going to talk about that here soon. Oh, sorry about this, but Mimi, thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. Yes, but we talked about that. And then, of course, Mrs. Steelers, I'm sorry. Thank you so much for being a member for 42 months. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I think the lover blames himself for her unaliving. Yeah, I can see that he carries that. Yeah, you could definitely see that he's torn up. He was in love. He was in love and hoping to, continue that relationship. But anyway, guys, please do me a favor. I appreciate it. If you can, hit that like button down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And I'll be talking to you guys very, very soon. Give me 15 minutes and we'll be back up. Yep, about 15 minutes. Give me until 11:30 Central Standard Time, 12:30 Eastern Standard Time, because the press conference will be happening about half hour after that. So anyway, I'll be back here very, very shortly. See you guys in a minute. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.